Good afternoon and welcome to the Unprofessional Professional Sports Podcast. I am VA along here with Bo Kraut. It is two people today handling the ones and twos. So, yeah, everybody else is just bailing on us, That's okay, though. That's unprofessional.
Way
and that's great.
Way to call them out right from the jump.
Going on vacations, having issues,
Yeah.
Typical human stuff, but whatever. We're in for it. So anyway, did want to ask you a question before we started off here, Bo. Seattle was the host of the USA Belgium matchup. Did you by any chance go to that? Or
I did not.
I thought that I didn't even know it was going to be in Seattle. I'll tell you the truth. That's how bad I am about soccer. But yeah, that was a bad match for the U.S. It's we got there, so it's cool. Participation trophy.
The thing, participation trophy. I think what was, I think they would have been better off if the red card was upheld rather than being overturned. I feel like they had like a sigh of relief getting a player back. And on the other side, Belgium was mad that it got overturned because when you watched that game, the U.S. came out really flat and Belgium was playing defense in a way that gave them no space to work. Like they had such a tough time moving the ball at all. And then when you look at the goals that were scored, they basically concede that first one. Like they were wildly out of position. They battle back, they get back on the board, and then less than a minute later, they let up another score in a very similar fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't really look like they were ready to play. Then this third goal happens that, again, has some players out of position, and it's just this little, blooper over the top, and then the one defender that was back there, just missed trying to defend it. Soon as that third one went in, the feel of that game completely changed. Like the U.S. looked like they were mentally out of it. You already had the coach kick a bunch of water bottles. And so, that team was in disarray as soon as the second goal happened. And then the third one, that was it. They looked like they didn't even want to be there anymore.
Yeah, that defense was trash the whole game.
Yeah.
It was bad. They were letting so much stuff through there. They were really putting Belgium on. Belgium can come down there and just be in their zone at will, and they just weren't doing it. With Tillman scoring that one goal, he was the only one really. There was a couple of players that I just noticed that were really playing the game the whole game.
Yeah.
Other ones like what's his name? Plastic. Whatever his name, that dude looked like a quitter. He looked like a quitter. That dude left out of there and just, I'm tired. I got to go out. Dude, if you don't get your non-scoring behind back in this game, it was disappointing. Although it was the most watched soccer match in U.S. history. So
for sure.
It's sad.
The one thing that I will say in his defense is he came out after he kicked into the dirt and he had been like working through a groin injury the whole time. So when he did that, it kind of tweaked it. So, that's why he tapped out. It wasn't like, oh, I'm tired. It was he re-tweaked a groin injury. He was already a liability out there anyway. He didn't have the speed. And so, it was probably better he didn't stay. But yeah, optically, it wasn't great. But there was an actual reason for him tapping out.
Yeah, I noticed when I was watching the game halfway through the first half, I looked and they had more shots on goal. Belgium, that is, had more. It was like three goal attempts out of 5 shots, and like the United States had 0. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah. And this is before the United States had evened it up at 1. But I was like, what's going on here?
I think the U.S. ended up with 9 shots on goal total. Like
Yeah.
it was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's always next World Cup.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if they bring the coach back. I'm imagining not. But because it's every 4 years, like how many of these guys are going to be on this team again?
Right. Well, yeah, that's a good thing about the World Cup, though. You have very few players that are on the same team of the next 4 years. So we'll see. Argentina seems to be the darlings of the World Cup right now. Spain and France are taking care of their business. So
Yes.
We'll see. Those are the favorites. So we'll see on how Argentina does with Messi. Today, breaking news came. Well, I don't know if it's breaking news, but Verlander will retire at the end of the season. That's Justin Verlander. When
you kind of thought that would
done.
be a thing.
Yeah, I think that's what he came here to do. I think he said, well, I started my career here in Detroit. I might as well finish it here. I've already won a World Series. So, I mean, what else do I have to do, And his body's starting to give out on him.
Well, that's the biggest thing, right? Is you're seeing a noticeable decline. And so, what's up, Joe? So that's the biggest thing is you're seeing a noticeable decline. He's made all the money. He has a ring. I had a feeling that going back, that was gonna be it, right? Like that was let me go home and wrap this thing up and call it a career.
Didn't like the fact that the way his season has been so far, though. He's accumulated a lot of injury, and then he re-injured an injury.
Yeah.
So it's I hope that he comes back and is able to pitch at least for a few more games with the Tigers. That would be great to see. I don't know where the Tigers season is going at this point because it could be going either way. And we don't know what's going on with Skubal. Skubal's been starting to put his ace numbers back up on the board again after a slow start. So we'll see what happens with him. Other than that, let's see. The LeBron sweepstakes are down to at least 4 teams: the 76ers, the Cavs, Heat, and the Warriors. Of course, he's keeping mum about that for a while. He said he'll give his decision a little later on, which is good as everybody's hanging off their edge of their seat. It's like, come on, man, make a decision. Let's do this.
Feels a lot like Aaron Rodgers, doesn't
it? Yeah. Brett Favre. Let's just throw a whole bunch of those Green Bay quarterbacks in there. 76ers, Cavs, Heat, Warriors. I think he goes to the Cavs. I mean, he has a chance. I mean, 76ers is a really good opportunity for him to win a championship if he goes on there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think right now, I think he's torn between the Cavs and the 76ers. If I was him, that's what I would be torn between those two teams because I can win a championship and go out on top, or I can go back to my home team and try to get some glory days. Hey, you never know. They did re-sign Donovan Mitchell.
I was going to say, I wouldn't rule the Cavs out as a potential.
Yeah.
Right. Or at least representing the East, right? I mean, they're probably coming up short against the West either way, but the Cavs could potentially make it in. Obviously they re-sign and then they have Harden for another year, which is helpful during the regular season. Like the Cavs, you have an outside shot. 76ers, I think that would actually be a great, push for a ring. The Warriors, it sure sounded like Steph doesn't really want him there because he said something earlier today to the effect of, I'd rather play golf with LeBron.
Oh, well, yeah, that's saying I don't want you on this team, buddy.
Nowhere to play. Exactly. So I mean, and then of course in Miami, that's another one of those where that's another fit where you could probably just go win a ring, right? You at least have that opportunity. So it's not like he's going to go somewhere bad, right? Like he's going to go
those
somewhere
three
that
teams, though. Out of those three teams, though, I think the 76ers and the Cavs are closer than the Heat. I think the Heat need a couple more players, maybe to help out Giannis. And we gotta be admit, Giannis, yeah, he might play a whole season, but again, might is a mighty word.
Sure. Well, I mean, you have that, so you can't even blame it on that though, because if you go to the Sixers, Embiid is that same guy. He can't stay healthy. If you go to Cleveland, Harden struggles to stay healthy at this point in his career. LeBron struggles to stay healthy at this point in his career. So I mean, and then if he finds his way to Golden State, Steph has been banged up a lot too in the last few years of his career. So, I mean, in all of these scenarios, you're talking about key members that can't stay healthy. So I don't know if you can really say one's better than the other, because when they're all healthy, Miami's got a real shot. Sixers got a real shot. Cleveland probably does. You can never count the Warriors out. So you're basing these on them being healthy. If you're looking at it from these guys are probably going to be hurt, Harden's going to miss probably 20 games. Embiid's going to miss 30. Giannis will miss 30. LeBron's going to miss at least 20. Right. So, I mean, I don't know. Do I think it'll be as bad as like the Nets with KD? No, probably not. Like they'll probably play more than 12 games together, but but in all of these scenarios, you're talking about key members that can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I do think Philadelphia is better equipped to handle them injuries than right now.
Sure.
Because they did get Jaylen Brown. They do have other scorers on that team as well. So it's not like
so where does LeBron
it'll hurt
play?
them.
Where does LeBron play for the Sixers, though?
Yeah, that's another play. Yeah. Well, he can play all kinds of positions. It's not like it's nothing new to him. But where he fits in.
They almost don't need him.
Right.
It was funny because Pags and I were talking about it this morning, and he was like, yeah, he potentially could be the sixth man of the year on this team. Now, him coming off the bench would be wild. And I don't know if his ego would let him do it, but he wasn't wrong, right? Like there's a lot of talent on this team. They don't necessarily need LeBron there. There's also the talk that although his kid signed a $2.5 million deal with the Lakers, it sounds like there's part of getting LeBron might be bringing Bronny along. So it might be one of those 2-for-1 situations. So I don't know. If I'm the Sixers, I don't know if I want that headache. If you're Cleveland, you're like, hey, we get the farewell tour with them and all that. So you're going to be, front and center on TV a lot. I don't know that the Sixers really need any of that.
Oh, their GM is sure pitching it. That's for sure.
Sure.
Definitely pitching it.
I mean, it puts butts in the seats. So, I mean,
if anything.
Yeah.
And especially how the 76ers went out last season. Yeah, it'd be a much better look for him on TV. So,
sure. I mean, I think you are past that anyway with a healthy Embiid and a Jaylen Brown and Maxey. And like they have enough pieces. They don't really need the headache of LeBron. Because if you were just getting the player, absolutely. But that's not what you get. You get all of the other antics and crying and, everything has to be about me type of situation, even though he comes out and says, I don't want it to be about me. And then he's making the NBA give him patches for stuff. And like, it's ridiculous. So I don't know if you want the headache that comes with LeBron. If you're the Sixers, if you're Cleveland, you absolutely do. If you are Miami, you probably do. If you are the aging out Warriors, you might even want to. Of the final four that we're looking at here, the Sixers seem like the least that need him, but somehow the most likely to get him.
Yeah, that's a Vegas betting move right there. We'll have to find that out. But like I said, he's going to take his time on it, think about it. I think that's the best thing for him to do because you're right. You bring up a whole bunch of situations for the 4 teams that are vying for him right now, and I think he's going to go to whatever team is the best for him, and maybe he brings Bronny along, whatever. I think that if he goes to the Cavs, I think that's going to definitely be the possibility there to bring Bronny because that's home.
Oh yeah.
So
no, that'll absolutely happen. Like that would be one of those. I will only come here if you bring the kid. Sixers maybe not, but because he did sign a new contract with the Lakers. So.
Mm-hmm. So going from the NBA to the WNBA, All-Star, the All-Stars have been announced. The All-Stars here. Hold on a minute here. I'm trying to. Oh Lord. See, WNBA's website is just like all over the place. Yeah. So. Well, we do have a clip too. Let's get to that real quick before we go into the All-Star game. Got a couple of them, as a matter of fact. Let's start with the good old Sophia Cunningham.
Yeah, Sophie.
This one is hilarious. This woman I watched the presser of her after this happened, and she said she was pretty stupid for doing it, but she said she was heating old girl up so bad. It was hilarious. So I want to show you the clip here.
Pointing, and she's like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And I didn't say a word.
Okay, that's
so stupid. Like that is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
It's probably the number one meme, at least on Twitter this morning. Which is special.
I know, but like I'm telling you, everyone's like, what? Like that is so dumb. I think it's dumb, but like it was pissing her off, and like I couldn't help myself. I could not. She was losing her shit, and all I was doing was literally pointing.
That was the one where she just kept doing this to her. I was like, "What are you doing, casting the spell, Sophia?"
Yeah.
That was just so hilarious to me. I was dying watching that. And old girl was losing her stuff on there. I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, they had to hold her back. Like, what are you going to do? Jump on her because she's pointing at you? Come
on. That was giving the like little kid, I'm not touching you thing. Like you all had, anyone that's had siblings has had that happen. I'm not touching you.
I'm telling you're pointing.
Yeah.
She's pointing back at her, and she kept this. That's when she just does this to her. Like,
well,
I'm beating your pointing. I'm beating your pointing.
They were starting to get people in between them, so they were going up over the top doing this, and it was ridiculous and hilarious.
At the same time, yeah. And then of course we have Angel Reese. A little bit on this video. You said that she gets an offensive foul on a flop.
Yeah, so she gets the offensive foul here, and I mean the flop was hard enough that the announcers were like, "Oh, there was definitely contact," but I give you multiple angles in this clip, and you can see that she misses with both arms, right? So like if she'd have collided with her left, like throwing an elbow, fair enough. I mean, at that point, you probably even get a tech, but in this case, it was just a run of the mill offensive foul, but straight up doesn't make contact, and she doesn't move on the first elbow anyway. She moves on the second elbow that misses her by almost a foot. So it is it's crazy that this was a foul. Flopping has really started to enter the WNBA. It was something that I was hoping they weren't going to get from the NBA, but it's starting to sneak in there. The refs for the WNBA have been a point of contention for the last few years, honestly. And you're still getting calls like this. I feel like with all the review, they should be able to fix stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And she looks like she got shot from the stands, right? From this angle, it looks like it might have got her, right? But when you get the next angle right here, you can see she misses there and really misses there. and then throws her head back like she just got blasted. Like it's flopping makes me mad in any sport. Yeah. And I get you do it because you steal a possession, potentially stop a score. Like I get all of that. I just hate it in general. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it all stems from soccer, right? Which is how we started the show, which is why I'm not really a soccer fan. Flopping makes me mad. Ending in ties also does. So there's a few things with soccer that I'm already not in love with. But then you saw flopping really start to get into the NBA over the last decade, really. And now you're starting to see it creep into the W. And that's unfortunate because I don't want to see any of
that. A lot of things have been happening too between Caitlin Clark has been one of the targets of things that are happening to her, sure. Fouls, things like that. And Sophia Cunningham did step up to her and said, well, one of the things that she said is that why wasn't she on the anniversary poster, 30-year anniversary poster?
So there was a legitimate reason for that.
Because of the
sponsorship,
yeah.
So that's actually what kept her off it. People freaked out about it like it was a snub. It wasn't. She has a sponsorship with a different company and wouldn't allow her to be on that. So even though people were losing their mind, it was much ado about nothing. It had to do with sponsorships and money. So fair enough.
And I think did she come out and say the same thing, or was it something that we just found out?
I believe
I didn't hear her from her mouth. That probably would have set everything a little bit straight if she would have just said it in the first place.
Yeah, I believe it's just something we found out. I don't remember hearing a soundbite specifically from her. At the same time, you probably wouldn't, because whoever her sponsor was that wasn't allowing her probably doesn't want that kind of PR. If that's coming from the player saying, oh, I'm just not allowed to because I have this, like, that doesn't sit very well. It's true. It's a real thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, when you're saying it, it sounds bad.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they could have her worded to a fact where it's diplomatic, put it that way, where she's not going against the other.
But still, there, like, no matter how well you say it, you know what it is.
Like,
she would have been better off to come out.
She's not on it.
She'd have been better off to come out and be like, "Oh, I just had a scheduling conflict with the picture or whatever," right? Like,
right, yeah.
So
that probably been better, yeah. And then the fact that she's been getting a lot of hard fouls. Now, I mean, it is the WNBA. There's going to be that kind of play in the WNBA in the first place. But that sock to her throat was kind of vicious. I probably would have.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That was kind of.
In fact, we do have that also for the people that don't know what we're talking about.
All right, let's show that to people.
I mean, the fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous. The landing spot, when you went to review it, and she still comes down on top of another foot, like, I don't know. Because to me, that's like a do-over on a test. How do you screw it up again? You're coming in here aware of what happened 2 nights ago, and that still happens? Absolutely unacceptable.
So it, I mean, she ended up getting multiple fouls during that game. Obviously, coming down, fist on the throat, knee on the groin. Not great, right? Now, she did get a tech after the fact and a 1-game suspension. So the W did come in and assess that. Weirdly, wasn't a foul in the moment. So that was kind of crazy. I don't know how you didn't at least get just a standard foul on that, right? Just a loose ball foul type of situation. But so yeah, that was kind of odd, but the W did address that. the biggest thing is we're seeing such inconsistency with the referees or just bad calls in general. Like you're seeing things like Angel Reese there getting a offensive foul that was a phantom foul. Not to say that she hasn't earned a ton of them on her own. So I'm not disputing saying that somehow
but that
Angel
particular one was not. Yeah.
I mean, when you look like you got punched in the face by an elbow that's 10 inches from your face, we know what you're doing. So, and that's where I wish some of that could be automatically reviewed. It's not like those aren't being watched the whole time anyway.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This course of the W, do you think they are? Well, I'm not saying the W in general, but do you think players are being more malicious to Caitlin than any other player in the NBA, WNBA, or is it more of people socialize being on social media and trying to make it a point that she's getting victimized more than any other player, or is it the fact that in reality she's just one player that's a star in the league and she's just getting victimized just like any other star would be?
No, I think she does get more. I think she does get more. I think there is some jealousy throughout the league. I think there is some of that. There's also an understated part of Caitlin's game that stirs some of this because she is someone that talks, right? Like she will absolutely bark at the other team, and you catch the wrong person, like they're gonna come at you a bit. Thomas is one of them. It's not like this is the first time that she's had some rough play, and I'm not saying against Caitlin Clark. I mean, just in general, like she's gone pretty hard at some players. So I mean, some of these people you got to be careful if you're talking sideways at them.
That's the FAFO right there.
It is, and some of these players are like, hey, I'm kicked out of this game today, but you know what? I'm going to earn it.
Right.
And I mean, there's coaches out there that'll even tell you stuff like that. Like I remember a DB coach that I had, early in my semi-pro career. He was just like, look, if you're going to get a flag, get it early and make it count. Right? Like if you're going to get one for a hit or anything like that, do it early, make it count. Because then, they're going to have alligator arms all day because they're like, oh man, this guy buried his helmet in my stomach. Like I not trying to get any more of that today. So.
Yeah. So going to the W's All-Star game, All-Star starters, there's a bunch in here that should be on here.
Sure.
And was there any other on here that you were like,
So no, I mean, they got good ones on there. I was a little surprised that Reese was a reserve.
That's what I'm looking at here. Yeah, too. I was like, wow, she
just because she leads the league in rebounds, and people can complain about me-bounds, right? Like, oh, she gets around. If you take away the 20% of the offensive rebounds that she gets, if you just take those away,
and she's still leading,
she would still lead the league. So, let's stop.
Yeah, and then the other thing I think about the me-bounds, two people are over. It might be me bounds, but guess who's not getting the ball? The other team. So, exactly. I mean, that's the whole point, ain't it?
So, I mean, just because the other people aren't good enough to get their own miss, I mean, right. I don't know. It's whatever. And then at the same time, when you look at, the voting has been a little bit funny because if you look at Caitlin Clark, and this is where that there is some jealousy in the league towards her, is players had her ranked 11th as a guard. So of guards, not of players, of guards, they ranked her 11th. She is second in point or third in points, second in assists across the league, not as guard, just in the league as a whole. And then, fans, I think, voted her second, media voted her third, but other players, 11th. You can't in your right mind tell me she's the 11th best guard in the league if she is third in points and second in assists. Like, you can't tell me that. The numbers don't support that argument. And I'm not a Caitlin Clark fan. I mean, but at the same time, we do have to live in reality a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, she was third in votes for guard.
For media, not for players.
Right. And as far as those went, and that's a fan thing anyway.
Well, yeah. So
players and fans.
I put less in the fans because the fans, that's a popularity contest, right? Mm-hmm. Media personnel tend to be a little bit more stat driven, right? There's still popularity contests there. Like if you have a player that isn't friendly to the media, they will snub you 100%. But they tend to be a little bit more data driven. Players, that is 100% a feeling vote, right? Especially if they have her 11th in guards. Like, come on.
And considering the fact there was only 11 guards chosen, I mean, Kelsey Plum, she was 12th in player rank, but she was the 7th most voted. She was 6th in fan and 5th in media. I'm not getting that either. Caitlin was 2nd in fan rank and 3rd in media rank and had a 4.5 weighted score. And that was, better than Olivia Miles from Minnesota.
Who is having a phenomenal year.
Yeah. And of course, Paige Beckers is up there. We also got to give a shout out to, of course, Aja Wilson, 4-time MVP, Brianna Stewart. She's up there. Aaliyah Boston from Indiana, Gabby Williams, Angel Reese, even though she made her reserves. That baffles me too. I don't know how the heck she didn't make the first. She didn't make the first. Her first.
Yeah, I mean, and great for Gabby.
Dumb.
Like she is, she's a phenomenal player. I was really bummed when the Storm let her leave. Because she can generate points, but her defense is second to none.
Yeah, it doesn't. Did Dominique Malanga? Did she make it as a reserve?
I believe she made it as a reserve. Yeah, and that's because she has missed so much time this year. Mm-hmm. Because she has been, when she's been on the floor, she's been playing out of her mind. She had a 38-point game like a week ago. So, I mean, she's just been going crazy now that she's back. But she missed, a month with a concussion. So, I mean, you miss a lot of games that way. I was surprised that she made the All-Stars at all. So that lets you know that some of it is voting, right? Like it's not just stat driven, because she just wouldn't have the games played to compete with some of these other players. So, but awesome for her. Awesome for her. If there was a player that I thought should have got in there, I can't remember if Flage made it. I don't think she did, or maybe she made it as a reserve. I don't have the list in front of me, but
yeah, hold on just a minute. I can tell you. Flage. Don't see her there.
I don't think she made it.
I don't think she made it. Yeah, she didn't make it. I don't see her on here at all.
Yeah, because I mean, she's been playing amazing. The biggest issue with the Storm, as far as getting players into the the All-Star game, is there's been so much depth play, so much bench play, I should say, that a lot of these players just don't have the minutes. There's also been a lot of injuries, but there was a few games in there where our starters had like 27, 28 minutes and our bench players were in like the 23-minute range. Right. So, I mean, like everybody got an insane amount of minutes. It's tough to have enough on-court minutes to get into these, to compete with teams that are using their starters for, 35 minutes.
Just a quick question before, because that's going to segue into our Major League Baseball All-Star game. Quick question on that. Now, I know there's some teams coming into the league next year. Yep. Detroit and I believe Houston's going to take over where the Suns, take over the Suns organization. Yeah. How are they going to do the draft for that? How they building the teams for that? Are they just everybody gives up a player, or how does that work out for the WNBA?
Yeah, so they do it similar to hockey, where they have a certain amount of players they can protect, and then there's a supplemental draft. Right now, this year, because you had the Fire and the Tempo come in, they both were part of that, so it made it a little bit more unique. This time around, there's only one team that's coming into the league. The Connecticut Sun will not be eligible for that. They're an existing team just moving. Oh. And so the only team that's going to participate in the expansion draft, supplemental draft, is the Detroit's team. Yeah. So that should make it a little easier for them. It's also going to be beneficial to them in the way that rosters are kind of set this time around. This year we had two teams come in, but nobody was signed to teams, right? Because you didn't have the CBA yet. So it was such a weird year. It seemed like it was going to be really tough to be an expansion team, although the Tempo are killing it. And, the Fire are they're a decent team. So despite all of the chaos that was this offseason, both those teams are performing pretty well.
That's good. It's good to hear. Yeah, because I'm looking so forward to seeing the shot come back to Detroit and play. Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big WNBA fan, but once we had the Shock here, I watched a lot of WNBA. It was almost maddening how much I watched it. But I watched it sometimes more than I did the Pistons because the Pistons stunk at the time. But anyway. It was nice to see Bill Laimbeer as a coach, and he got them girls together, and they of course they won a couple championships, so that was always a good thing for that team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this team plays out for next year. Going into the All-Star game as a segue for the major leagues, which is on July 14th at Citizens Park Bank in Philadelphia. I'm sure Pags will be there. Yep. Since it's going to be at his home base there. This is another one where we have some players that, especially American League, American and National League. I know there's a couple players that were really Wheeler for Milwaukee. He was just above himself for not getting chosen in an All-Star game. I'm kind of, This is another one where what's the plans, the players and the fans and the coaches or the media vote for?
Everybody gets a vote. That's how a guy like Mike Trout gets in. Because his numbers don't suggest he should be an all-star, but he's in there.
He just got reinstated off the IL today too.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing, is like some of this stuff isn't based on truly on how well you're doing, right? Because then you see a guy like Julio that's actually had a good season so far this year, not in this conversation, but Mike Trout, who has missed a ton of time, hasn't played particularly well, he's in. So
you got that with Aaron Judge too. I mean, he's been playing well when he has been there, but he hasn't been there. He's still on an injury. He won't be playing for the All-Star game this time either. I thought a big snub was, I mean, I like Jordan Alvarez. I think he's really good, but he should not have been there over Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz leads just about almost every American League category as far as the batting average, hits. He's up there. And I don't understand why he didn't get that over Jordan Alvarez. But like you said, it's the All-Star game. It's votes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing is you can't read too much into it because it's up to votes. It has nothing to do with what your actual numbers are. And you see this a few times a year, or I mean, a few guys per year where there's some that you're just like, I don't know how this guy didn't make it, but he's not that popular of a player, but the numbers are popping off the page. And then you have some guys that make it, that have a big name that aren't playing well, but they're like, oh, he exists. We like voting for him. He's going to go play. And I get it. This is a TV ratings thing also. So they want names that people want to see.
I mean, yeah, but I guess it's to the purist of the baseball genre that kind of doesn't like to see this kind of stuff because fans don't know what they're doing any damn way. They see a name, they vote for the name. They're not voting for actually what the player has done during the season.
Yes. Well, you gotta remember the baseball purists are our age and older, so we're not their demo anymore. So they don't really care what we think.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess we were talking, me and Keith and Jack were on there talking about this last Sunday too. And Jack was saying, of course, Jack is the old man on the porch, of course. Yep. And he was saying that they should change the format and how they vote because players should be, go to the All-Star game based on what they do. And he didn't like the fact that you're just basing it off a half a season instead of, a whole season. Should they move the All-Star game until that? I was like, okay, Jack, now you're just going into a whole bunch of things. This has been in baseball for the longest time. And now you want to sit there and move it somewhere else. I don't think that's going to happen.
To be fair, that is something that I do agree with Jack. And I have always thought that an all-star game that's in the middle of the season, like in baseball, like in basketball, I'm not a fan of it because you can be an all-star and absolutely be terrible the second half of the season. And maybe I don't like it because I've been a Mariners fan and I've watched my team do exactly that. They get to the all-star break. They've found a way to be in the conversation for the division. And then they just forget how to play baseball for a month and find a way to miss the playoffs. But the biggest thing is your players just aren't playing well anymore. And so I've never been a fan of an all-star game that's at the end or that's at the middle of the season because I want to see you play well all year. That's an all-star to me. If you manage to play well while everybody's healthy and the weather's nice, and I would hope you can be good through the best parts of the season. Let's see you once you have, 70 games in the books and you're tired and you're beat up and the weather's starting to not be the best. And okay. Now we get to see who the actual athletes are. Everybody can play when it's 70, sunny, and awesome.
I never understood that with any of the leagues that do the halfway point. Even with the WNBA is another one that's doing it. The NBA, the NHL. That's
the thing is the WNBA follows the NBA model. So whatever the NBA does, that's what they're going to do. But yeah, basically everything except football has a mid-year all-star, which again, it just seems weird because you don't have a sample size of if they were an all-star, like, were you great all year? That's what an all-star should be. Not, I was good for half the season, so I get to be an all-star. That's weird.
Yeah, and it's kind of a farce in a way, too, because, these all-star games are kind of ridiculous. Like hockey, they have absolutely no defense going on, nor do they do in the Pro Bowl.
Well, the Pro Bowl.
It's flag football now, so that's even worse.
And it was on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
like it's the.
You know what? Just make a list of players that you feel should be all-stars, Pro Bowlers, whatever the case may be, and just do an end of the year list. And don't even play a game. Don't even just say these guys were Pro Bowlers or all-stars at this point.
Just do the skills challenge. Just do the skills
whatever.
challenges.
If you want to be fun with it, do that. Whatever. I mean, I could live without that too, to tell you the truth. But
for sure, I'm just saying if you wanted to do a thing, right? But they made it the same week as the Super Bowl. They made it the Tuesday run leading into it. So like they made it almost unwatchable. I mean, it's unwatchable anyway, but they almost made it so you didn't remember when it was. So I do think that it's headed the direction you're talking about, where they just put a Pro Bowl list out and that's it.
Yeah, I think that would be good for all the sports, to tell you the truth. I mean,
well, hockey
if they want to do a skills challenge at the midway point of the season, I could see that. Because
I mean, if you remember, the NHL at least changed theirs. Like they weren't no defense like basketball was, but the NHL at least changed it to the the World Classic, right? Or the whatever they called it. I forget what it was. It's the Four Nations or something like that.
Yeah,
so
World Four. Yeah, I think it was Four Nations or something like that. Yeah, you got it.
So you started seeing real competitive hockey again, because they're like, look, we want to bring this home for our country. And it was real hockey. And so they didn't have an all-star game, but they had the Four Nations. And so that's what they pivoted into. And so that was cool. The NBA, theirs was, they tried to do something different after the year before. There was over 400 points scored and it was just unwatchable garbage. They had kind of their own spin on how to change things up. So, I mean, the leagues are trying to figure it out, but they're so far behind the curve of they let their all-star game become so unwatchable before they started to take action. In fact, I even wrote an article, The Death of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that article. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Good article too. It's about time to kill that. Anyway, speaking of football, Mr. Brandon Ayuk, this guy, talk about unprofessional professional. He's more on the unprofessional.
I was going to say, I haven't seen any professional from him for like a minute.
Well, he's a professional at TikTok. I give him that.
He is that.
But other than that, yeah, he's unprofessional. This back and forth stuff that he has with the Niners. Now I guess he's picking on Jaden Daniels. Now, dude, now you're biting the hand that could have fed you, by going off on the Commanders, star, and he's supposed to be your boy. He's supposed to be the one pitching you, and you're just like knocking the spoon away from him. I'm not getting this guy. And you're right. He brings up AB vibes.
He does, but he didn't have the highs that AB had, at least. AB talent-wise was probably one of the best to ever do it, had he been able to keep his mind right. Like, he'd be in the conversation as one of the best receivers probably to play, right? Just skill set alone. Ayuk isn't that guy. Like, he's fast, right? Like, he can run a good route, but you never saw him play good enough, long enough for you to even consider him in those kind of conversations. So then he starts losing his mind on the Niners, which whatever, right? But then, he's trying to force his way to Washington, saying if the Niners cut him, he's signing there tomorrow. He does half of his Instagram things with a Washington game ball. And then you're going to go after their franchise quarterback that's supposed to be your buddy? Like, what do you do? Like, even if you were thinking this stuff or you wanted to say it, you don't put it on Instagram. Like, that is crazy to me. If he continues down this path, which everything shows he's going to, right? He probably never plays another down in the NFL.
Because nobody was going to want to put up with his stuff.
Exactly.
And when Jaden Daniels, started to erase him from social media, unfriend him and whatever you do all the time on social media, just get rid of him. That tells you right there, dude, you crossed the line. Then you're going to talk about my mama too. dude, you are just really trying to sabotage your life of football, aren't you? I don't, to the point now, I don't know if he's going to be able to go in the UFL or the CFL. It's kind of like the.
I don't know that they could pay him enough that his ego would let him even do it.
Yeah. So we have a clip of Brandon Ayuk's recent tirade. So let me put that up there for you guys.
I gonna text me talking about something. You on my team now. You follow my rules. Boy, I'm a grown-ass man, boy. You gonna have to start running behind your mama, and I might believe what you talking about. But until then...
I mean, yeah.
Really nothing to follow that up with, but a couple of AB videos might help you out. But
well,
yeah,
and it's funny. So here is I don't have this put together yet, but so this is Kittle on IU.
Oh yeah, Kittle. Yeah, I remember his little comments he made to him.
Well, no, he went on a
like how excited should
podcast.
I be to probably have him on the Commanders?
The last time I saw Ayuk was, call it week 6, 7, or 8. I don't really know, but
oh, what happened? Oh, there we go.
I used to make it a habit of mine to go out early in the morning before meetings to watch him train because he'd always be out there early. And I watched him run over 22 miles an hour and stop on a dime. So he's still got it. Or at least, that was 8 months ago. So I don't really know. But yeah, you guys have fun with that, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Perfectly put.
Yeah.
Still got it. Have fun with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have fun with all that comes with it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's very
Have fun with all that comes with it. I mean, that lets you know that he's enough of a head case that it's not worth the value that he still has potentially on the field. So, because I mean, if you're getting that out of your teammates, like that is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not getting this guy. I'm really not. I don't understand why he's self-destructing like that. Why he's in the situation he is. I don't know where his mind took a turn during the season.
This is where we need to find CTE testing that doesn't require you to be dead first. Obviously they've been able to do, the brain tissue test after you pass away. But I mean, I feel like they need to figure out a way to be able to do some of these tests while you're still alive to see if you are going to have some of these problems, because, you're speculating that AB had that after that perfect hit removed his head. It makes you wonder, did Ayuk have some of this, or was he just a little bit crazy from the jump and then money just exacerbated that issue? Because that is part of it also, right?
Maybe we just need to go through the tapes and every one of his games that he did play, which ain't that many. I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to find. See who knocked the crown off of him, because that might have been the hit that turned him sideways. So
it's definitely possible, right? I mean, when you think of AB, he didn't seem like he was that big of a problem. He was a problem. He was a diva receiver still, but he didn't seem like he was that big of a problem until that perfect hit, and then he was a different human.
Yeah, he got hit yo-yo style. So yeah, we'd have to see what's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk. Hey, BA, AB. Hey, don't say nothing about my BA. I'm not the BA. I'm not Brandon Ayuk. It might be my initials, but I'm not following that same path.
All of a sudden, you're typing your name out.
Damn. The NCAA opens an inquiry into Cincinnati about Sorsby. It's like everybody is doing this now. I mean, all the officials are doing this for every team he played on, to see what was going on as far as his gambling activity is. Of course, Cincinnati's coach is mum about it. He really didn't say much, but the organization, of course, said that they're going to cooperate in any way they possibly can. Obviously, I mean, at this point, just leave the kid alone. He can't go into the draft until 2027.
Yeah, the CFL already came out with a statement saying he absolutely will not play in our league.
Right.
The UFL is too closely tied to the NFL to let it, and plus their season's over anyway. But, so, I mean, he's not going to be able to play anywhere. And at this point, if somebody wants to take a flyer on him in the NFL next year at the draft, he'll be eligible, right? The big thing is if there's one thing the NFL doesn't really appreciate, even though all of their sponsorship is DraftKings and BetMGM and all of this, they don't want their players placing bets. Players, coaches, staff, any of that. Mm-hmm. We don't want you betting. We certainly don't want you betting on football, and absolutely not on your own team. Whether you're betting for them to win or not, doesn't matter, because the integrity of the sport comes into question. And for him to be betting on his own team, granted, it supposedly was when he didn't play, but whatever. The NFL doesn't mess with that.
I think the best thing for Sorsby to do is just be quiet, stay out of the media, actually just kind of go missing for a while.
Yeah.
Because what this will probably do is, if he can do that, this will probably die down. I know there's going to be people trying to soak through everything and say, hey, well, I want to see what he did here, when he did, just to keep up some nonsense. Just leave him alone. Okay, you already put him in a position where he's going to have to train in the off season. He can't do it with any football team, obviously, because they've already terminated that whole situation. So what he's got to do is do a lot of training in the off season to be able to get back into the draft for the NFL in 2027.
I believe he could go play for a D2 school. I think he still has
if
eligibility.
They take him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is I think there might be a D2 or D3 school that would entertain the headache of it.
But I mean, that would be bringing attention to him. And I don't think that's something he needs right now. I think he needs to stay out of spotlight, just get his self together.
I mean, if he wants to get drafted, he's going to have more current tape than missing an entire season. Otherwise, he'll be an undrafted free agent. Somebody will be like, hey, like, why don't you come to our rookie mini camp and we'll see if you can still throw the ball. Him disappearing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 with him, because he doesn't want his name so much in the media, where when it comes draft time, that's the only thing they're talking about. They're really not, even if he does have tape, they're not talking about his tape as much as they're talking about, when's the next time he's going to gamble on a team. Well, that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about.
The thing there, though, is that's what the media is going to do. That's not what your front offices are going to do. Like, if he keeps his nose clean, we'll talk about it, right? Because that's part of the job we have. But their scouts aren't going to. They're going to talk to the kid and be like, look, are you gambling or not? And he's going to be like, no. I'm like, cool. Can you still play football? Like, that's going to be the part that they care about, because that's whether or not they get fired. For us in the media world, it's a story. It's something to talk about. So even if he were to disappear completely, soon as his name gets brought into the draft conversation, all of this gets brought back up anyway. Because you're going to be like, oh, yeah, here's some video of him. He was playing well. It's been a year now since he threw meaningful footballs. But why he didn't play is because of all, and then you're right back into all of this anyway. So you'd almost be better off to just wear this conversation out before you get towards the draft.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a cutting edge sword right there. I don't know. I hope everything goes good for him. I hope he has gotten out of that gambling out of the system, because like you said, the NFL is not going to go for that, and he wants to get drafted into a team, make some money, dude. you're a pretty good quarterback from what everybody else is seeing. Let's go and get this job done so that you can get back into the NFL or get into the NFL and do your thing. On that note, thank you, Bo, for being here. For me and the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show, we will be bidding you adieu until next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a great rest of your day.